Darren Buelow is a principal with Deloitte Consulting. He's a native of Madison, and he's at the Competitive Wisconsin Conference on solving Wisconsin's workforce crisis. Darren, you were talking about the competition for talent. You used the example of Vermont. Can you talk about what other states are doing to offer talented people to get them to come and work there?
There's a lot of programs across the country to try to attract workers. Of course, we all know about incentives to try to attract companies and get those companies to build plants or operate offices, employ workers. But there are a number of states, regions, cities that have put in place employee incentives. One of those is Tennessee, the Tennessee Promise, which offers free tech school tuition to those who will apply for it and move into the state. It's even available to those in the state. So that's been a huge draw for Tennessee to pull people to go to their tech schools. These are jobs of the future, and Tennessee's capitalizing on that.
And you mentioned Vermont is offering $5,000 per worker. It's a what?
$10,000 per worker. It's called Vermont's Remote Worker Program. I may have that wording potentially a little bit inaccurate, but what they're offering is for a non-Vermont resident to move to Vermont, work remotely. They can get up to $10,000 of their relocation expenses paid for in a 2-year tranche, $5,000 and $5,000. Vermont just announced last week that they're going to be expanding this program to now apply to any worker that moves to Vermont to take a job. They can earn $5,000, and if they relocate to maybe more rural areas, they can earn $7,500, again, to reimburse them for relocation expenses.
At this event, it was mentioned a potential $20,000 being offered if you are a talented worker in a high-demand field and you come to Wisconsin out of state. Half from a public entity, half from the employer. Would that, to use the term, move the needle? Would that help Wisconsin?
It would place Wisconsin at the top of the heap in terms of the value to the worker. Most of these employee incentive programs are in the $5,000 or $10,000 range. What's interesting about this proposed program by Competitive Wisconsin is that it accrues over a 5-year term. So you are motivated to stay working in state longer, and the potential program would be sustainable in that it would be paid out of monies that the employer is benefiting from and that the state is collecting tax on. So there's no net new outflow of money from either the employer or the state. And certainly the net migration numbers tell us that we're losing people in the state. And so some kind of artificial stimulus may very well move the needle, and with a program of this size, which, by the way, is, according to our research, a mere fraction of the benefit that the state and the employer would enjoy from each new job, a program of this size would be a difference maker.
I want to ask you about a comment you made at one of the sessions. You said, we must understand it's a zero-sum game. Can you explain that?
This is a game where people are choosing with their feet where to work. It takes 18 years to make another 18-year-old. We know how many 18-year-olds there will be in the United States in 5 years because they've been born and they're 13 years old right now. So this is a zero-sum game in that as people move from one location to another, you're not creating more people. You still, at the end of the day, you still have the same sum of people. So what I meant by that comment is there will be winners and there will be losers in this attraction of talent game that we're all playing.